Hello, this is Diane Hinchcliffe from Web 2.0 Expo San Francisco 2009, and we have a very special guest with us, Adam Gross, Vice President of the Developer Network at Force.com.
Salesforce.com is the company, Force.com is the product.
Excellent. So I've been watching what you guys have been doing. You started out as a SaaS service provider with the Salesforce product, and you've been doing amazing things with Force.com. And I was at your conference last fall, and I was startled to hear that over half of the use of the product comes in through this API that allows developers to integrate with the great features that you have into their services. So can you tell us a little bit about Force.com and how it got started and where you guys are going with it?
Sure. Starting with the API, I think is a good place to begin. Really, what you're seeing in that number is the maturation of the usage of software as a service. That means that over half of the activity, the interaction with our data centers, is coming not from people sitting behind computers and web browsers, but it's coming from other computers, whether it's legacy SAP or Oracle systems, or new devices like iPhones, or other kinds of integrations, literally as SOAP XML traffic in and out of our data centers as opposed to HTML, and really speaks to how much SaaS applications like Salesforce.com are becoming woven into the fabric of traditional enterprise architectures, again, as you point out now, with over half of what we do being delivered as web service API transactions rather than traditional web browser transactions. So we're delighted to see that. That means that there's a lot of success out there in our community in terms of using our application in lots of new and different ways.
Yeah. Well, so tell me about that. Salesforce has long been the leading SaaS company out there, pretty much, and now you open up the platform. What sort of things can people build on top of Force.com?
Sure. So I think increasingly folks are hearing about cloud computing, and they hear about different environments like interesting work that Amazon's up to, or Google's up to, or others.
Yeah.
And certainly Force.com fits in that mix of cloud computing platforms, but we're also a little different, and we're focused uniquely on the problems around enterprise cloud computing, and specifically database, workflow, forms, analytics-centric kinds of applications that frankly have been the bread and butter of corporate IT since the days of green screens. So if you look at the applications that were built first in mainframes, and then maybe 15 years ago were built in VB or PowerBuilder, right?
Exactly.
I built some of those myself. And they have a lot of very common characteristics. You need a structured relational database. You need a forms layout system. You need a workflow system. You need approval semantics. You need an analytics capability. You need dashboards and reports. And what we've been focused on with in Force.com is providing a cloud computing framework that provides all of that with the performance and trust and security and reliability that enterprise needs, so they can start building those applications that they built in client-server systems immediately in the cloud today for any kind of business process, and do so very, very quickly with very high ROI.
Yeah, and all the things you really talked about there, those are the bread and butter capabilities that businesses are looking for. And I think I think most people would agree. Amazon and Google's and Microsoft's Azure platform are great cloud computing platforms, but they're not emphasizing the business aspect of cloud applications, as far as I can tell. It seems like you guys are really focusing on that.
I think you can certainly do lots of interesting business things with those platforms. Again, the problem that we're focused on is uniquely that of those kind of workflow and database-centric applications. Again, that look like CRM, or as we've seen other folks build applications now, things like HR systems or finance systems, or just to get all the classic kind of bread and butter enterprise applications, or all those custom applications that IT organizations spend so much time working on, but provide a much more productive and efficient and higher ROI environment for them to do it. So it's also nice because I think it's a very straightforward kind of entryway into cloud computing for enterprises, because we've really thought about and baked in all the considerations everywhere, again, from security to how does it run in 11 different languages around the world. So hopefully you can focus less on those pieces and more on whatever the unique business requirements that your application has. And we've seen a lot of success with that. We now have over 100,000 custom applications written on our platform, and that's across our about 1.5 million plus subscriber base. So we're seeing a tremendous adoption of Force.com, and that's really gratifying.
How many developers approximately?
We've got about 135,000 developers in our community right now, and that's of course growing all the time. And one of the things that's also been great about having that developer community is we've been able to help introduce them into other cloud computing technologies. So you've seen over the past couple months, we've really been focused on helping our customers and our developers build applications that can take advantage of all the innovation we're seeing across the internet and across the cloud, whether that's using Force.com in conjunction with S3 that we have customers doing, or EC2, or App Engine, or last week announcing an integration with Twitter. Really what we see is, kind of the sum of the clouds, if you will, being such a powerful counterpoint to software. We think it just collectively makes the value proposition that much more attractive.
Right, so businesses, instead of having to focus on building out infrastructure or providing operations and support management, they can really focus on their business problems more. I mean, to me, that seems like really a lot of the promise of all this cloud stuff.
That's exactly right. And one of the main business problems that we hear IT talking about now is how to do more with less. And of course, I think that's what's driving, even accelerating the interest that we're seeing in cloud computing, because of course, it's very hard to argue with the economics of paying for exactly what you need on a subscription basis, never doing an upgrade, never having to worry about shelfware, never having to worry about capacity and scaling, and just having all those things come automatically as virtue of your development environment. That's pretty compelling, and I think that message is resonating with corporate IT right now.
Fantastic. So if somebody wanted to go ahead and get started with cloud computing and Force.com, how do they go about doing that?
Sure. So we have a great technical resource at developer.force.com. We offer all our development accounts for free, all the training materials and resources and samples and all that kind of stuff.
No tools to buy or anything like that. You can just sit down with a platform and start building stuff?
That's exactly right. And what you get out of the box, you get a 2-seat unlimited use version of Force.com. And of course, the way our model works is we charge on a per subscriber, per seat basis. So as you add users to your application, that's essentially when you pay. So you can build it out, you can play with it. And frankly, if folks are just interested in learning more about it, it's a great way, just online with the web browser, you can become a cloud computing expert in no time.
All right, fantastic. All right, well, Adam, thank you very much for coming and talking with us today at Web 2.0 Expo, and I wish you great luck with Force.com.
Thanks so much. Enjoy the show.
Thank you.